That's good. You say John will not be with us?
He won't be here tonight. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody to Planning Commission meeting tonight. I mentioned John Stout is out of town and asked to be excused, and I'm not sure whether we'll be joined by Simon or not, so we'll go ahead here. Call meeting to order. Larry, would you offer invocation for us?
Sure.
And Severin, would you lead us in a pledge?
Sure.
Okay. There it is.
Good timing.
Yeah, you're good.
Not yet, but going to. Our Heavenly Father, we approach thee in prayer at the beginning of this Woodland Hills Planning Commission meeting. Grateful for the opportunity to call upon thee and thank thee for the blessings we enjoy and to seek thy help and thy guidance and thy direction. Grateful for this community in which we live. Grateful for the freedoms we enjoy in this land. We are thankful for the opportunity to help make decisions for our community and pray that we might do as thou would have us do. Grateful for the moisture that we're receiving. Grateful for good friends and neighbors. We offer this prayer in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Is there any public comment from anybody that wishes to make any? Okay, we will move on to the next item. Approval of the September 17th meeting minutes. Severin made a few suggestions and I changed the minutes and sent them back out to everyone with those several comments that he made with mostly punctuation and so forth. And I went back and found one spelling error too that I had overlooked to begin with. So anyway, I'll take a motion on those minutes.
I move that we approve the minutes.
I'll
Okay.
second that.
Right? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. The next item, number 6, is this request again for consideration of a zone change. Let's talk about it a little bit. I'm hesitant to put it for a vote with her not being here, so I think we'll wait till our next meeting, but I think it's worthy of some discussion.
Is this the same one we looked at about a year ago?
No, it was last month.
This last month,
Okay, I
yeah.
wasn't here for that.
What little background, Simon, she proposed to make it an R1. It's an R2 now. And there were it wouldn't meet the minimum criteria for a 1 acre lot to divide it.
Because the house really would have encroached on that other acre, as I remember. The current house.
Yes.
So she's wanting to split this off?
So what was suggested to her that she go for do an R119 zone instead of going from a 2 acre to a 1 acre. And so we decided to table it and let her further think about that, maybe have a survey done to see how the lots would be divided with an R119. So she's come back and presented this to us with an R119, And there's another diagram there that shows how she would propose in dividing it. And in suggesting to her that an R119 might be considered, I had in mind with the property line being closer to her property with making allowance for the setback. And she came back with this one, as you can see there, it gives 100-foot frontage and on the front and 83 on the rear. And when you consider the setbacks, it gives her, I think it was 65 feet with a setback on the front and a 48-foot setback on the rear. And I have some concerns with that. It kind of is out of character with the other surrounding lots there. And I'm not sure why she chose to do this. The one thing that kind of stood out to me is there's a shed towards the back side of the lot. And it looks like she's wanting to include that shed on her main property. And I don't know if that's the reason she put these divisions as she did or not.
I
But
wonder if she thought that the R119 could only be the 1900 square feet, or it had to be half an acre, not larger.
well, she's made it larger because R119 is 19,000 square feet. And a half acre is approximately 22,000. So,
What's the one here that's 0.81 acres?
okay, now I asked Jody to give me another cut at this with moving the property line over further towards her house, the division. And if that were done, it would make it 0.81 acre. And I'm a little more comfortable with that. We approved a subdivision a couple of months ago where most of the lots in there, it's a R119, but the lots vary from 0.7 acre to 0.8. A couple of them I think are 1 acre, but this would put it more in line with what that other, what we approved before with R119.
Is that nine unit?
Yes. Yeah. So anyway, those are some questions I was going to approach her on tonight and ask her if there was specific reason or what her rationale was in putting the boundary line as she has in the two lots. So I'm open to any comments that you might have, but I think we'll carry it over till next month.
I mean, I
She's
think
here.
that if that shed is what is critical for what she's doing, I mean, we could carve out, just like what Jody had to do when she split her lot, that we carved it out so that in this case, the shed would still be on her property. We moved the property line over, if you look at it, with the road on top to the left and then go up. It wouldn't be the 0.81, but she could still retain the shed on her property.
You're talking about bringing the property line over this way more
Yeah,
and making kind of a bit of a triangle there.
or even come straight down,
Just
you know, and just have a
an
dogleg.
upside down Utah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So there are other
that would be another
options.
possibility.
If that shed is what seems to be the critical thing in her thinking, she can have a job.
Yeah, she's got 3 other sheds on the property too, and I
Yeah.
don't know what they're used for.
Maybe it
On
could
the
be
left,
moved.
go ahead.
Because then maybe she could even move the shed. I don't know if it's movable.
Yeah.
Whatever that is.
I talked to Jody about it. She thought it was kind of in shambles. So I don't know. But I'd let her speak for herself on that, so. I think we'll go ahead and table it again and have her come next month. And give us some explanation on that. And maybe I can meet with her and talk to her about some options. Stuff too. Might be her. How are you tonight?
Good, how are you?
Good. We were just talking about your proposal here,
Oh, okay,
so
good. Sorry, it was locked.
it's all right. If you come up and sit at the table, so this microphone can pick you up. We've got what you're proposing and the way that you're suggesting to divide the lots on the two pieces of property. And there's some concern that I think most of us have regarding the narrowness of it. Was there a particular reason that I see that there's one shed towards the back of the lot and you're looking like you're wanting to include that in the main property. But wanted to see what you had to say about the division.
Yeah, so if the 20-foot, I forget the word. Setback doesn't work, we could take out that, it's just a little lean-to. It's like a little 3-sided thing that has wood in it. But the reason why I did just the 0.5 acre is because the person who's interested in buying the property wanted just a ½ acre. But I'm not opposed to, if that's too thin, and she wants to build a really small house, like a 1,500 square foot little stone cottage. But if I need to make it wider, I'm not opposed to selling like a 0.75 or a 0.9 acre if need be. I might not be able to sell it to her, but I could maybe sell it to somebody else.
Okay. Does she realize that there's 30-foot side setbacks on that lot? So it makes it even narrower for her to be able to build on that.
Okay,
If you're
so
coming
the
in,
R119 is 30 feet setbacks
I believe that's correct, on each side of the
on each
lot.
side. Okay,
So she'd lose 60 feet of building space with that lot the way it is, so it would make it even narrower to build on.
What's the zone in Four Seasons? Is that a different zone, Four Seasons?
No, it's R119.
Those are 15-foot setback.
Are they 15?
Yeah.
Okay. So you'd lose 30 feet then.
Right.
okay.
Well, that's,
Yeah.
you'd
and I
have
know
about
she
a
was planning-
65-foot front.
She was wanting just a small little cottage, like 1,500 square feet, and it was gonna be 2 stories. So probably not very wide, but once the R119, I could, I guess I need to know how that process works. As far as once I get that R119, if that is approved, then when we do the subdivision, whether I sell like a 0.75 or a 0.9 or a ½ acre, do I come back here to approve the subdivision, or how does that work?
You would come back here to approve the subdivision, but it would be an R119 unless you changed it again.
Right, but an R119, with an R119, I could sell still like a 0.9 or a 0.75 or a 0.5. No,
No.
okay,
You would have to sell how you've drawn this here. That's what you'd be selling.
oh, I'd
But
have to,
it'd still be considered, it still qualifies for an R119 zone. But this becomes a separate piece of property.
mhm.
So that's what you'd be selling.
Okay,
So you kind of have to decide before,
I have to decide before how much of the before the zone change, how much of the property I'd be selling.
That's correct.
correct, or have yet another zone change if that particular zoning is approved by the council. Now, we have some reservations about it. We haven't taken a vote on it or
Yeah,
anything else. But there's a number of ways, if you wanted to keep that shed on the original property, it's possible that you could come over here and draw not a straight line, but a diagonal line over to that to give more space here. Or I don't know how critical that shed is to you, or you could bring it out. Let me show you just,
So get rid of this 0.81 picture.
yeah. This, in the city today, we just drew that out as what a 0.81. It'd still be a R119 because it's less than an acre. But that would be the amount of property that would be included in a 0.81 acre size lot. But it would still be an R119.
okay,
But the way, and what we've done in the past is put some conditions on zoning where somebody has come in and said, these are the size of the lots that we want to have in a subdivision, and considering them an R119, and they did meet that category. And so we put that condition on those lot sizes so that they couldn't come, and this was like a 9-lot subdivision. We didn't want to come back and say, well, now we've got a 20-lot subdivision and we've divided everything in half again. Because that, in that case, it wasn't similar to other zoning that surrounded it.
right, okay,
So that's just a thought and suggestion. Again, you'd be selling a larger piece of your property if that's what you eventually want to do in subdividing it, but it would still be an R119.
okay. So once I decide on the, even though like a 0.9 or a 0.6 or whatever would still be an R119, I have to decide on the amount of property I'm selling before we do the zoning.
That's
Before we change the
preferable,
zone.
because this is, if the council says, we don't want this narrow of a lot, then they're gonna deny your zoning,
Okay,
okay?
all right.
Now, that doesn't mean you can't come back again, but you have to go through the same process again to get it rezoned to what
Right,
is something that may be more suitable. And again, I want to emphasize, there's no guarantees
right, I
on,
understand.
on the zoning.
Okay.
So,
Well, I like this idea because if I don't end up selling it to that particular person, if she doesn't decide she wants it, somebody else might not want that narrow of a lot. So, and it is good as far as we could keep that little shed and it would just belong to the other lot. But the driveway is on, and everything else is on that side. So, I would just have to talk to her and see if she's willing to buy a 0.81 acre instead of a 0.5, which would be, so I would honestly prefer to sell a larger piece for more money than a 0.5 acre. So, I mean, I'm happy to accept this plan and still apply for the zone change.
okay,
My personal feeling, Christie, was I felt uncomfortable with the 100-foot frontage, but would feel comfortable with 120 or 130 feet. It just seems more similar to the other lots there.
Right, yeah,
Provide some sort of congruity for the situation.
right, so it's not just a tiny lot and then a bunch of big lots.
When I first saw this, I thought, I think if it were 0.75, I'd be happy with that. But 0.5, I don't feel comfortable with that. That's just my personal.
Yeah, yeah, that's understandable. Yeah, I mean, I'm happy with this one, with this the way it is.
okay. And again, these other lots have already been through this process with the city council and they approved those other size of lots. So I think, again, I don't want to mislead you. and,
Right.
Everything, but I think there'd be a greater success of having that size lot approved by the council rather than a skinny one
Yeah,
like you've got here.
makes
So,
sense. Okay,
but it's all, it's up to the, we make a recommendation to the council. They're the ones that make the final say and have the final say on it.
okay,
So again, I leave it entirely up to you. If you want, I'm amenable to tabling it again, if you want to give it some more thought, or if you want to go ahead and take that approach with that particular size lot tonight, and we take a vote on it, a recommendation, that's entirely up to you.
okay. Yeah, I mean,
And just to be clear, recommendation could be either yes or no.
right,
And then they will decide,
yeah,
and they sometimes overrule us either way.
right, yeah, I understand. It's still, it's not, nothing's guaranteed. So, yeah, I think I'd like to just go ahead with this one,
Do
because,
that with a 0.81 size lot and a R119,
yeah,
okay?
Should we make a motion?
Yes, let's make it a conditional 1, 2. So do you want to make it?
I'm not sure what conditions to put on it.
Well, the size, lock that size
Okay,
in.
all right, we can do that. All right, I move that we approve
Application for zone change.
the application to change the zoning from an R2 to it's an R1 and R119.
R119.
Well, the other one's gonna be an R1, right?
No,
It's
they'll
gonna be an
both,
R1.
they'll both be R119.
Okay,
Well, the other
Okay,
one's
so
gonna be
those-
more than an acre. Hers is going to be more than an acre.
Or divide,
So it would be an R1
I
too.
guess, yeah, it can stay R11.
yeah, so we have an R11 and an R119, conditioned upon that the lot size should be at least
0.81.
0.81 acres.
Is that?
Yeah.
Work for you, okay? That's what was drawn
Yeah,
on that, so.
Or even 0.75, like Larry was saying. We need the 0.81, that specific.
No, it was just kind of an arbitrary line that we drew down
Seems
closer
like
to.
0.75's
Let's say
Bigger.
0.75, then you can.
got a little wiggle
okay.
room.
Then depending on the exact property, I can kind of play with it maybe a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, let's say a minimum of 0.75 acres.
okay. Very good.
Maybe start your motion again, I got a little messy.
We need a second.
I
Say
second.
it again.
I don't know whether I can. All right. I move that we approve the application for a zone change to an R1 and an R119 with the condition that the minimum lot size would be 0.75 acres.
Okay, is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
All right. Any other questions? Comments? Okay, all in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Very well. We'll take that forward then.
That'll be in 2 weeks or the Tuesday, the 27th, I think.
Yes, I think that's it, before the
So-
city council.
Does she need to have the thing drawn up better than our little?
Yeah, if you can put that together, and you decide then, 0.75 is minimum, how you want to, where you want to put that line,
Okay,
keeping that in mind.
okay. And then I need to bring that here, the little map.
Bring it to Jody, give it to Jody.
Oh, before the meeting.
Yeah,
so
before the
2
meeting,
weeks.
so we'll present that to city
How
council.
far before the meeting?
A week,
Okay,
that works
yeah,
for
I can do
you?
that in the next few days, so.
Does she need to zone before the subdivision or can she do it all together?
No, there'll need to be a separate subdivision, because there's a lot of requirements to put together for subdivisions. This will just be the zone change,
Okay, and then I come back when I'm ready to do the subdivision.
yes.
Perfect.
Are you learning?
Trying to figure this out, yeah. Yeah, it's
Okay,
good.
well, thank you
Good
for,
luck on that.
Alright.
We're glad you knocked and we opened the door
Yeah.
for you.
Yeah, well, I couldn't figure out which room it was in, and then I heard voices, because I've only been here the one other time, and I'm terrible with directions. and so then
Usually
I-
the doors are open, but we
Yeah.
had some another meeting, it was loud, so we
Okay.
shut them all.
Yeah, and then it was locked, and I was like, oh, maybe I can't come in if I'm late.
Yeah.
very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's hot. What is the temperature on?
Have they left? Maybe they've left. Open that door.
It's what?
77, yeah.
Oh
Well,
my
it's set to
goodness.
75.
Oh, it's just heating
Well, it's
up.
on heat. It's going down.
Just turn it
I
down.
think the snowplow guys are gone now.
Yeah,
It's fine in here.
okay. Very well.
I'm glad she came. That was
Yeah.
good information.
Appreciate everybody's input. Item number 7.
It's not on yours. Underneath.
No,
Yeah, there, I could see there.
no, this is my one. This is just the first one.
Did you not get the mailbox?
I don't have a mailbox.
Okay.
Sir?
I don't know if we've had such a movement of papers lately. I'm not sure if it seems like I may have, no, I won't say. I probably haven't given you any of these 3 papers. These are some concept drawings that we've gotten from the roundabout has come from the county, and the mailbox diagram there has come from 3 bridges. And again, they're concepts, just kind of to show and give an idea. John Stout is been asked to kind of be planning commission liaison with with the mailbox thing. We have been, I think I sent a message to y'all, we have been asked to oversee the plans for the mailbox primarily, and getting input from residents, from others. John Stout and I have a meeting next Monday with a postmaster in Salem to talk to him to see what requirements they have. Let's talk about the mailbox first, and then I'll talk a little bit about the roundabout. What is planned is that on that checkered part there, that's likely property that Three Bridges will be deeding to the city to accommodate the turn-in for the mailbox.
Is that already at grade or is that beyond the slope?
It'll need to be put at grade.
So they'll just push that mountain into the
Yeah,
hillside?
and they'll have to do I don't know, they're gonna have to compact it and do other things that are required to do that,
Do a
yes.
whole bunch, start again.
That's probably what, 50 feet?
Oh, at least.
And possibly the same with the mailboxes. As you can see, they're pushed to the north, and how much room we're gonna need there is yet to be determined.
Are these still planned to be covered like we have, or is this kind of open?
It's up to the city as to how we want to have them designed. So that essentially is gonna come from this group with thoughts and ideas. And we'll get an architect to put together a concept and then take it from the next step to, and city council signing off on it and then take it to the next step for design. So the idea was to have two mail facilities connected with a a part in between where they would be able to move back and forth between the two facilities in distributing the mail.
Now, I thought it was going to be big enough that they could drive their mail truck into and be covered in there.
And that's possible. Or we can have it covered to begin with, without a drive-through. There was another thought of some way of having the mailbox or the mail truck go behind those facilities and have access from to them from behind. So all that is just, it's subject to change. There's nothing that's been in concrete other than probably two different mail facilities. One of the ideas behind that is the mail, say, the furthest one to the north would be of, the mailboxes would be of new construction, new mailboxes. So that from one day mail is delivered to our old boxes, and the next day they're delivered to the new mail facility. And then the other half of that would be for the growth that the city is planning on. So we're doubling the size of capacity of what we have now for mailboxes.
Which is needed. Even now, we need more space.
We're out.
Yeah.
So they would take the old mailboxes, if they can be reused, and put in the second facility.
But that way, there wouldn't be an interruption of mail service for the residents. They just one day pick it up here and the next day
The new,
next to it.
yeah.
So this would be built and then the other one would be moved
Yeah.
after?
The one, they'd both be built at the same time, but the old boxes would be put into the second facility. So there would be like mail at the old facility one day, and the next day it would be at the new facility. And it'd have the same capacity as the current one now with the new boxes. And then the second mail place, they would move the old boxes into that for the overflow.
And where would the entry road be then to the new
Okay,
facility?
the entry road, do you see
Great.
that left turn lane?
into the
What the plan is,
Wasatch area.
is the cars would come into through around the roundabout and enter that left turn lane. And it would
Oh, I
be,
see, okay,
and it would be a wait for traffic lane.
sure.
So when traffic is clear, then it would turn into the mailbox area. Cars would turn into that.
I was worried there was going to be an entry off of Woodland Hills, but it's off of the roundabout still,
Correct.
where we go, but it would be widened and a turn. Okay.
Yes. Yep.
One thing we did say is to design it so that birds can't nest
Yeah.
over it.
Yeah.
Get all the boxes so
So-
dirty.
There's been talk about enclosing it, all enclosing it, and part timber frame potentially with surrounded by block wall with glass in it.
So it's
Some-
Summit's enclosed.
It is, but they have a electronic access, I think, to the door.
Oh,
So there's question about providing that for 1,000 people. Also possibly leave a doorway open. Not have a door, but have a doorway. But the rest would be enclosed, so there'd be some climate, not getting rain or not getting snow in there. And we want to figure some way out with the birds too, to avoid them getting in there. So you can see some lanes there for parking. There's been thought of putting the cars there or potentially parking stalls up right next to the mailboxes. Being a little bit closer there. Wondering, not knowing the size of everything, but we want to allow sufficient stall space for vehicles. Another thing we wanted to have was a drive-through mail drop. Right now, you need to get out of your car to drop mail off. If we did that, it probably would need to be on this property that Three Bridges would be deeding to us, so that the driver's side is the mailbox is on the driver's side.
Yeah, you must make a little median there or something.
Yeah, you could do that.
I like the idea of lines being drawn or a median or something. That way there's a flow to how people circle in and out. You don't get one person going the opposite flow
Yeah.
of
Yeah,
everybody.
some arrows even.
Yeah, arrows or something. I don't know.
So I think the flow would be as you come in the driveway, or come in the entranceway there, that would be the road you'd follow, and at the same time, it could easily accommodate a drop off to have the mailbox in that area, and either parking right close to the mailboxes or continue coming around and parking in those stalls that they're showing there, and then you would come out and be in the one lane there and come around the roundabout, either go out north on Woodland Hills Drive or keep coming around and then go south on Woodland Hills Drive.
What sort of timeline are we looking at for that?
Three Bridges is anxious to move forward with it. So
I thought the county was the one that was pushing to have, aren't they doing this
there's-
next fall, the
they are.
roundabout?
They're putting plans together now to make a new roundabout. Will include not repairing, but replacing the roundabout that we have. It'll be larger than that.
And all these drawings show turning lane on 11,200 in Woodland Hills. Are they widening those too as well?
They are. And eventually, as we go and look at these roads, the one closest to our property there, it will be kind of a expedited lane to go out. It won't go to the roundabout. It will come out here and just go out. And they're planning on doing that with coming into Three Bridges, whether it's coming in on 11,200 or coming in from North Woodland Hills, going around here and taking this outside lane and going over to Three Bridges. So those aren't going to be in place now, but they want to secure the property now from the different property owners around the roundabout to have the property when the time comes. And that's to facilitate the increased capacity on 11,200. That will become, I think, a 3 or 4 lane road coming in.
They're doing a roundabout, not a light.
Yeah. And there's been some thought, again, these are all just conceptually things. Somebody had seen a roundabout that had some big rocks around it instead of a cement base. And what that facilitated was if somebody hits it, it's replacing a rock or two and not having a whole cement thing that's crumbling. And it looks, the several who've seen that, apparently there's one up in Park City or Heber that has a bunch of rocks around it, very attractive and
They have one
more of a
down-
mountain kind of
They have
atmosphere,
one down in St. George
with rocks
on
around
the
it.
road to Ivans.
Well, and then if you hit the rock, instead of having one rock, maybe you'll have two rocks, but it will still look good.
Yeah.
You're breaking the-
Exactly.
Hmm.
So, if,
Our paint on it, maybe.
I don't know if you're in the practice of, looking at the monthly newsletter that the city puts out, but a part of my newsletter this month was this. The mail facility that the planning commission had been given responsibility to shepherd that through the process. And I solicited any comments and put my email address there from people who wanted to give us their thoughts or ideas about it. And so I've only gotten one email on it, but one is better than none. So that'll go on for probably, I don't know, maybe a couple of months as we continue to look and kind of formulate our own thoughts on it and what we'd like to see there. So my purpose in bringing it up tonight is to let everybody know that. Feel free to solicit comments from your neighbors, people you know. My city email is out there for people to send their thoughts or suggestions to, or you can take them as well and bring them forward. So that's kind of where that's at right now. The county, who is designing this roundabout, they hope to have a design by March. And more, let me back up, more than a design. They want to go out with a request for a proposal in March for somebody to build this roundabout.
Oh, my goodness.
So that's the kind of the time schedule that they're working on. So any questions?
They have to secure land on all four corners, just a little bit,
They're going to have, they're
Yeah.
going to need to.
so just a little bit from each.
One is the church corner, the other one is our corner, the other one is on the northwest is another company that Three Bridges is involved with.
Oh, really?
So that won't be a problem. And the one on the southwest is farmland that they'll have to talk to the owners of that, private owners. And they're trying to decide now how much they're going to need and so forth. So that's where that's at. And that's kind of why they want to get a jump now, because they want to get the property that they need now, and that'll take some work and back and forth.
Yep.
To secure that.
Do they think the church would be amenable to doing that, or nobody knows?
Nobody knows. They're difficult to give up things, so for the greater good,
So
maybe.
30
If the
feet.
county wants to widen 11,200, then that's probably going to impact the church as well, besides
That
Hanks.
could.
Well, which church? The stake center or the stake center?
No,
Yeah,
no, the church,
no, yeah, well, no, this one
One at
is
the roundabout.
the roundabout.
Well, it's just.
But
How much are we
if they
talking?
widen
30
11,200, if they widen 11,200, then we're talking state center.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a massive lawn. Give him
Yeah.
something, I'm sure.
A massive
Yeah.
lawn and a huge water bill, they might be happy to.
Yeah, the water bill's huge, yeah.
But anyway, good
So
question.
would they be widening any roads or are they just doing the roundabout right now?
They're just doing the roundabout right now.
So why,
They're acquiring the additional property to come in later.
Okay.
And
So then they'll later, when it's bigger, they'll redo it again?
no, they'll leave the roundabout, they're putting the roundabout as they need it
They're just making
in
another
10 years
200
from now. But they won't be putting these exterior roads around it right now.
So it'll be
Yeah,
built up to the bigger size, but they'll do the roads later.
Yeah, except for the roads that are needed now. And that's Three Bridges Road, and that's our access, and so they'll be doing those now.
So it's because adding 3 bridges, it's going to need more capacity
Yes,
than we already have.
yes.
Okay, so I'm like, why not just wait till we're doing the roads? We'll do it all, okay. But if they're redoing it, might as well make it big enough to handle everything else.
Yeah.
Got it.
Now, they've got this north. North should be going the other way, right? That's actually south.
No, that's north.
Yeah, down the hills north.
You see,
Oh, you're right, my bad. Yep, I mixed up.
Okay, now another little thing, I've heard twice now that the church has bought a piece of land on the corner of, so if you go down Woodland Hills Drive and then hit 11,200 and then go west, and then the next street that heads north down to Salem, on that corner, the church owns that, and they're planning on building another church there.
So
I don't think they
You don't
do.
think that's true now?
I've looked at the property names along there, and it's not the church.
Well, I just looked at it. Yeah, it's a different name. Somebody told me that that is the church's kind of
Undercover.
What's it called? What is it?
Willow Creek Development.
I mean, where that, it's really just dirt that they're taking out of there now, right across from Hyatt's.
no,
Not down that far.
yeah, you're too far. So it's the road when you come down to the church, at the bottom of Summit Creek, and then you just head east a little bit. So it's kind of halfway between the roundabout and the new church
So-
building,
Yeah.
and you're going down.
Duffin and
Oh.
Wild are across the street, so on the east,
Yeah,
on that corner.
yeah,
Well,
that's.
I mean, the other side,
It's Salem property.
and then ours is next to Salem's.
Yeah, so we've got that Reed Nelson area
Yeah,
and then across from
It's
that.
on
the
this
corner.
one map.
Yeah, it shows that it's owned by Willow Creek LLC.
I
don't
can't remember.
know.
They do have a number of names, but I did hear from Kyle Houghton, who's pretty well, anyway. He was saying that they've got land, they're gonna build another building because we need more in the state.
Wow.
But he said down the street.
Oh,
I don't know, like, which street, which way's down, but I was like, all right, we'll get another building, it's better.
yeah.
Yeah,
There might be 3 churches right there, so
there could be,
maybe.
yeah. So,
well, I mean, traffic wise, it's probably better to have the church down at the bottom of the hill than to build it
Yes.
up at the top of the hill.
Yes.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's a little flatter down
you
there.
know, and with our build out over the coming years and all that area, I mean, Three Bridges building 70 or 700 residences down there, and I don't know how wide of area it would cover, but the B.H. Horton, all that building over there too, so.
Yeah.
And there's no plans in that or in Three Bridges for a church.
And who knows what's going to happen to the farm property
Yeah.
right
Yeah,
There's a
just,
lot right
just
there.
south of
Mhm.
yeah.
Some of them will be
11,200.
commercial, won't it?
It's
That's
zone.
been kind of thought about, that if there's a commercial area, that
Thought
would be.
about or fought about?
Well, when the Community Development Committee gets done with the general plan, it will come to us. And part of that general plan talks about commercial area along 11,200 south.
Well, it's in the general plan right now. It's
Yeah,
commercial.
it is. We had projected that when we
It's,
wrote it.
it's still, it's agriculture now,
Yeah,
so it's not been rezoned.
Not zone, but the
Not-
plan is what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
looking forward to
Plan
it.
is a potential for
Yeah.
commercial.
we basically, and that's what we basically said when we wrote it, what, 6, 7 years ago?
7 years
now?
ago, yeah.
Anyway, that was probably the most likely place within the city to have commercial property.
Totally, yeah.
Well, we also looked south or north of the roundabout. on the property where they're piling the dirt, and then a little bit farther south is still Woodland Hills until you get to that road past the house.
Further north. You
Yeah.
said south.
No,
South
south,
said north.
South is.
I'm sorry,
this way.
north. I did it backwards again.
I finally got it into my mind. Now, don't mess me up.
No,
Yeah, yeah.
in fact, somebody made a proposal to put a convenience store gas station there at one time.
Yeah. And that's still possible.
I think if they sold all the gas to everybody in Woodland Hills, they would still go out of
Oh,
business. I think they need more business than we can offer.
That's because there's too many Teslas
Oh, true.
in Woodland Hills.
There's a few. Okay, any other questions on that? We'll probably have it on the agenda each month and update and see where things are going with it. Number 8, proposed city code title 11 changes. I wanted to give you a heads up. That's something I'm working on. Our current title 11 is a bit miscombobulated. And it's carryover from our previous ordinance too. And I've had a hard time keeping things straight. But the main issue is if a developer comes in and wants to develop a piece of property, and not recorded, so the lots can't be sold during the development, then he posts what we call a durability bond for a year's period of time to guarantee the work that he's doing, plus, and that's usually 6%. I think I got it right, of the amount of improvements that are going into that project, plus 10% for inspections that are required. So that's the amount of bond, and whatever's left over at the end on the inspection end, if there is any, gets returned to them.
Right.
The durability stays in place for the duration of the guarantee of the infrastructure.
Is 10% for inspections?
Now, I may have it reversed, 6% for inspections and 10% for
Durability. bond.
durability.
Even still, I would think even 1% is a little much for
No,
inspections.
it's
I mean, the durability bond, yeah, I could see that being 10%.
it's 10% and 6%, one or the other, and
Either way, it's 16% they're bonding.
yeah. That's what the developer has to post with the city during the course of development. Again, that doesn't allow them to record any of the lots that they're developing
Until it's finished.
till it's done.
Yeah.
The other alternative is they can post a bond with the city for the full amount of what it's going to cost them to develop the property. All the infrastructure, they post a bond with the city, say for $1 million. That's what it's going to cost them to develop this piece of property. They can record it then. And then as they finish putting a particular all the infrastructures in a particular area, they can sell lots to that area. So, and the idea behind that is if something happens to the developer, then the city has the money to finish that development. As a developer finishes a section, he can still do it in phases. As he finishes a section, the city returns to him the value of the improvements that he's put in that section. And so potentially at the end of the development, city has no more bond. They still have to post the durability and the inspection bond. But this money that's being held by the city would be paid out as the development moves forward and is done and completed. Our ordinance is not really clear. They muddle those two things up. So I've been working to sort it and make sure that there's a distinction made. And it all kind of hinges around the recording of that property. And it's, of course, a lot. Now you'd hope that a developer, when he starts doing something, he's got all the money that he needs to do it. But it's a big potload of money. And they are under requirement to do it within a year, or they can get an extension on that. But it's a potload of money still the same to put up as a guarantee. So most of the developers don't do that. They take the alternate, they don't record it until after it's done, and they just put up the durability and inspection bond to do the work. So
Does the city have any large properties still for development other than the agriculture at the bottom?
it really doesn't. It has property, but it's really not developable because of the
Terrain.
topography and terrain of it. So mostly it's privately owned. Summit Creek still has some. They're in their final phase now, but they're doing it by phase.
Right.
And so that'll finish what they have planned. And then there's the agriculture property. And there's 3 owners to that. So I'm not sure what they will do in the process. I know one of the owners has told me that he doesn't want anything to do with development.
Uh-huh.
His kids will do it when he dies. And
That Hanks.
he's a fine guy.
There are 2 are
There's
Hanks.
2 others, and he's got a brother that feels differently
Okay,
than that. And then there is
Reed Nelson,
who?
Reed Nelson.
Yeah, Reed Nelson.
And Smart.
Has property in there. So we'll see where that goes.
Do very many builders bond 100% of the cost? Seems
This
like
who?
Do very many developers take the second choice where they bond for 100% of the cost? That seems like
I don't see how
really
they could.
expensive.
Yeah, we haven't had that happen here. So
Springdale requires the 100%.
Do they?
okay, any questions on that? Hopefully November meeting will have it.
I have a question. So
Yeah.
say, Hanks or Nelson or one of them does the 100% bond and starts to develop, and then they go bankrupt. So they would lose their land to a bank or someone, right? And then would the bank say, Woodland Hills, you have to finish the infrastructure?
That's a good question.
And would it cost us more than the
And
100%?
I don't know the answer to it. The supposedly the property would be forfeited to, if they go into bankruptcy, would be forfeited to a bank or whoever's loaned them money if there's mortgages on the property. Now, if they own it outright, then there are gonna be some other legal issues there. Only thing that we have is the value of the improvements. So,
I would say that's pretty unlikely, though. If they're able to bond the total amount, they started getting in hot water, they'd just finish that development and sell finished lots. They'd be pretty financially solvent if they could put that kind of a bond up,
Okay.
which is
Okay, so the city wouldn't be stuck.
It's just a very, it
Maybe.
could maybe happen, but super unlikely, because even though they don't have that money, it's really an asset tied to their property that's there to improve it. So I think, yeah, the chance of that's pretty slim.
Okay.
Well, the city did have to bite the bullet on those properties over by those two roads.
Yeah,
Uh-oh, I don't wanna talk about that, he said.
It was different.
now that ended up being an issue between two developers,
Right.
you know.
But the city still ate the
We ate some of the,
cost to
Yeah.
make it right.
we went in and put improvements in it on our own dime. And
Is that Loafer?
no,
Off of over those two.
Rod, Bear Hollow.
Rodriguez, Rodman.
Bear Hollow and Cougar
Okay.
Run.
Bear Hollow and Cougar Run?
Yeah,
I
Okay.
was thinking of those other two streets off of Loafer. One was so steep, we had to go in and make it not so steep.
I think some are,
Next to
I think that was done by-
Down to by Anderson's, the cul-de-sac,
No, no.
they just developed?
Well,
we did do the connecting road there
Yeah,
in
that's
front of Glen
fine.
Anderson's.
on Loafer,
Yes,
Yeah,
but there are two dead-end streets that go off of Loafer down into ends, Lisenby's, bought
Yeah.
that one home.
oh, yeah, that's another one. Well, they're at, jeez, names are
and the
escaping
one
me.
by Anderson's, I think is the other one you're talking about.
But back behind Anderson's,
Yeah,
yeah, back behind them.
yeah. But it's the road
Chris
that,
Cambasco,
yeah,
back behind Chris's house.
right.
Yeah,
They dropped off
yeah,
at a too steep of a,
yeah. They,
and then we had
There's some
trouble
big
getting
houses
the
in
sewer,
there.
getting the sewer there because it had to go.
yeah,
Anyway,
Yeah.
sorry.
all right. Okay, general plan. Lori, Severin? I've got
Or
some
not,
update.
I have missed too many meetings.
I only missed the last one. Yeah, we meet next Monday and I think they're hoping to have everything finished and I don't know, we'll see what changes will be made there. But Daniel has all of the sections completed now.
And I think I've sent them to everybody
So,
to start to kind of look at. We haven't, it hasn't been given to us yet to accept. I'm going through, I don't know that I'll make it through all the sections, but I've gone through quite a few of them. And there's some changes that I want made, and I've communicated that back to the committee, back to Kirsten Thompson, who's a committee chair, who the committee's working with Daniel Jensen on. And I've asked for those changes to be made. Some of them are errors, some of them are minor things, some of them are more involved, and there's not, it looks like a lot when you put it in an email and send it, but I don't think it was a whole lot. I don't know how well that's gonna be received. But the point was to lessen our work so we can get more of a final product in it. And once we get it, review it, look at it, I'm confident there's gonna be some other changes that you all are gonna we all are gonna recommend and look at, and want things done a little bit differently or here or there, or worded differently or clarified, whatever, before it goes to the city council. And
I mean, I have expressed, Kirsten, I don't know whether I copied the whole committee or not. But, I mean, there were some stuff in parks and rec that it seemed like the general plan was tasking the city to do certain things, like maintain the trail up the mountain. I don't think that's appropriate for a general plan to task the city to make sure that that's maintained. I think that's a choice that the planning, or not the planning commission, but
Parks and
the
Trails.
city, I mean, the city's the final, I mean, they can recommend to the city that, yeah, we need to do this. But I don't think the general plan's the place to be tasking the city to do stuff.
I personally, I'd agree with that. It needs to be an issue, a consideration that
Yeah.
needs to be addressed, and then up to the city how you want to
Well,
address it.
the thing about if it's in the general plan, people believe that it's the law or the rule. And so then
They
you
don't
get
see it
calls,
as a
we
plan.
need somebody to go shovel the, trail right now because in the general plan it says this. So we need to be really careful.
I've tried to be careful with the words shall and may, and making sure that from my perspective, those are used properly. Shall is, gonna do it. May is, there's some
Choice.
options there, choice and things, so.
Well, a plan is really a recommendation. It's not a law or a regulation
it's-
or.
As the guy that's working this, as I think tried to explain to us, that it's a framework. And that framework should guide the city to do these kinds of things. But I just was having trouble with it being a little too directive in nature instead of being a framework.
Makes sense to me.
You really ought to consider making sure that trails are maintained. All right, that's fine. But saying you need to do an annual, annually go over the switchback trail and make sure it's still operational.
That is does seem weird to me to have that in the plan. 'Cause the plan is like, hey, as we grow, this is the direction we want to take. It doesn't have to do with how the city's run, really, it's how we're gonna.
Yeah. So, Laura, you and Severin, you
I need to
feel free
read
to
a
make
lot.
those kind of recommendations and things and with,
I think I've got a little bit of reading to do before
Me
next
too, me
Monday.
too. And a highlighter or two.
so. Anyway, that's kind of where we're at. I'm not sure where they're, one thing that kind of, I guess, concerns me, and I wrote Kirsten today about it, the strategic plan. Strategic plan was supposed to be part of the general plan, but I don't see any specific mention of strategic plan goals or waypoints. There was a couple of places where it referenced a strategic plan and there's nothing there. I said, well, take strategic plan out of it if there's nothing at that point, And maybe some of the areas, some of the sections will be more conducive to a strategic plan than others. Maybe we won't have it in each section. I don't know, but in reading it, let you know, so as you start reading through it, I didn't see any relative strategic plan issues or matters in it. So I don't know what their plan is going forward, if they give us a general plan and then work on a strategic plan, but it's supposed to be integrated, with the general plan. So I don't know where that's going or where it's at. Just a question I had and I addressed to Kirsten today, so. But I'm generally, I think it's coming along pretty good. I think there's a lot of good information in it. So anyway, give some thought to how in the past, and it seemed to work pretty good, the one that Severin and I worked on 7 years ago. We kind of divided up the sections amongst the planning commission and reviewed them and then commented back. And not to the exclusion of others couldn't look at it, but each of us had a certain
Some of us were
section
tasked
that,
to,
look
you
at.
know, find some pictures that were examples of what we were talking about to plug into that section and so.
yeah, he's got quite a few pictures in there, which I
Yeah.
like, and
Yeah,
too.
and
so.
yeah, I think he has done a good job with that. I think it's very visual.
So give some thought to how you think would be best to look at it as the planning commission and things. And I don't anticipate this being a one night thing. I mean, we'll, when we get it, we'll pass it out and give everybody, time at home to look at it. And then as we come back together, we'll discuss it and your thoughts and everything on it. So. Okay, that's all I had.
I move that we adjourn.
I'll
I mean,
second that.
Amanda, did you have anything that you wanted to share with us, or
I'm just
Just
distressed by,
hear with your ears, huh?
yeah, I'm distressed by a practice that I wasn't ready to officially talk about, but I'm distressed by the continuing practice of, sure, you can make your lot smaller. We'll approve it with this. It really distresses me. It does not. We don't have a new general plan, so if we're gonna erase the previous one, we don't have one standing. So that's not the case. We're still utilizing 2017, which the vision was stated 1 to 2 acre spacious wooded lot. I don't think it said wooded, but I wanna change that because we're gonna lose our trees if we don't protect them. But when we make a smaller lot amongst larger lots for an individual's personal benefit, number one, it's breaking the law. Number two, we're changing what is around. And we bought a piece of property that's 1 acre because it was, 2 doctors owned a lot of land and they split it up, and they split it several times because one then wanted to build what we now call home. And we worked to get more behind us that used to be part of the 2 acre piece. That's how important it is to me, because continuity of neighborhood is important for a lot of reasons. And spot zoning is against the law. And
I thought spot zoning referred to putting commercial and residential or something different, not just a different residential and residential.
spot zoning is changing a zoning ordinance for a single piece of property that benefits that single property owner.
I don't know that a slightly different residential would count as spot zoning though.
Typically, you cannot, in most cities, you cannot ask for a zone change unless you own a minimum. Typically 5 acres is the minimum, but every jurisdiction has their own minimum standard, unless your property butts up against the zone you're wanting to match criteria of. I have spent a lot of hours studying this, and I'm really distressed. And you will hear more from me.
Do you find that cities our size have a similar requirement that they have to have 5 acres before they can rezone?
Yes, or a group of landowners that are all contiguous come before the city to make a change as a whole.
Because I haven't heard of that before. I'm just curious if that was kind of a common practice amongst cities that required a minimum size, I would think that they would run afoul a little bit of this is my property and I'm making a request that is within the statute that you have. And
yet that isn't the case. That is the purpose of zoning, to create regions of similar, not demographic, because that's humans, but similar usage, similar aesthetic, similar interface. It's the purpose for the.
it is one purpose, I agree with you, so.
I've thought about that too, and because when I, first moved here, the lots had to be 1 acre minimum, but then they started allowing homes to be clustered in big areas of open space, so you still had a 1 home per acre average, but it was different, and that bothered me. But then I thought, about some of the people in kind of the older lots or the big ones. The newer sections are all little lots. And I thought, is it fair for someone on this 1 acre piece of land to be stuck with their 1 acre when they really would like to split it for financial reasons and, it'll work? And is it fair for us to say, no, you can't? I don't know. If that's what they need to do in order to stay in the city.
Some things that we didn't bring up earlier when Christy was here is your animal allowances change with lot sizes. We owned, and we still own, a house in Salem, bought in 91. And we've had that issue. Our huge original block, half of it still has animal rights. And so on the opposite side, when you start cutting smaller and smaller, you create a lot of potential, issues with their animal stink, or
Sure.
that's why there are almost a regional, small little regional areas of usage. It makes sense in.
Yeah, and we've had some of those situations here in our city too, where it's had to be dealt with. So, but thank you for your comments. Appreciate it.
I have been, one of my daughters has bought some property in Springville. It's under less than 3 acres,
How much?
less than 3 acres.
Okay.
And the city, the biggest zone in Springville is an R19.
That's the largest?
That's the largest,
Really?
yeah. Outside of agricultural or something else, but, so, they don't even have R1 or R2s in there. R19 is the largest lot.
Hmm.
Which was kind of interesting to me.
Yeah.
We don't have anything like that.
No. But things change too.
And that's that's minimum,
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But you get in some of these larger cities that I bet at one time they obviously had, 1, 2, maybe 3 acre lots in Mapleton. They used to be a sprawling area and a lot of farmland over there, and they're constantly reducing lot sizes and so forth there.
But there still
They still have big ones.
is a steel rod at some of the planning commission's backs in there where they will not let you subdivide a 3 acre lot in more than 2 lots.
In where?
Springville.
Springville.
No,
No, maybe.
Mapleton. Mapleton.
Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I think the county used to have a 20 acre minimum on a county lot. And then they've changed it to 5. And yeah, but I think it was 20
For subdividing?
for
No,
one
just
home.
one lot?
One home,
One home.
20 acres in the county.
Yeah,
Now it's 5.
that's pretty.
Yeah, that's a big change.
Yeah.
I don't know, it's hard, yeah.
Very good. Severin, want to make your motion again?
I move that we adjourn.
I'll
Okay.
second it.
Very well. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. I don't have any new information about anything, so status quo.
No.